Clint Eastwood. The name alone brings to mind dusty western towns, magnum revolvers, and the squint of a man who's seen it all. Today we're looking at 20 of his very best, not ranked though, because let's be honest, trying to rank these would be a fool's errand. Instead, we'll dig into the stories behind their productions and the moments that cemented them as classics. So is Clint Eastwood the last great cowboy of Hollywood? Let's find out.
Do me a favor, will you? Next time you have one of these things, keep it an all-British operation.
This isn't just a war movie, it's an action-packed thriller. Eastwood and Burton lead a team of Allied spies infiltrating a Nazi-held castle to rescue a general, but the mission isn't what it seems. Burton took the role at his stepson's request, bringing a theatrical style that contrasted with Eastwood's minimalism. Filming in the Austrian Alps was brutal, with freezing temperatures, high altitudes, and real explosives adding to the danger. Eastwood kept his dialogue sparse while Burton handled the exposition. This buddy movie pairs Eastwood's ex-bank robber Thunderbolt with Jeff Bridges' drifter Lightfoot as they plan a heist. Directed by Michael Cimino in his feature debut, the film's unique visual style clashed with Eastwood's preference for efficiency. Cimino's multiple takes frustrated him, but the end result was visually striking. Bridges' standout performance earned him an Oscar nomination, and his chemistry with Eastwood made the film's tragic ending even more impactful. The definitive Western. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Behind the scenes, director Sergio Leone's perfectionism clashed with Eastwood's impatience, especially with endless cigar-smoking takes. Communication was difficult. Leone spoke little English, Eastwood no Italian. Eli Wallach, Tuco, had it worse, narrowly avoiding a train accident and accidentally drinking acid. Despite the challenges, the film delivered one of cinema's greatest showdowns, the iconic three-way standoff set to Ennio Morricone's unforgettable score. The film that redefined Eastwood's career, turning him from Western star to action icon. As Inspector Harry Callahan, he delivered one of cinema's most quotable lines. Frank Sinatra and John Wayne passed on the role. Inspired by the real-life Zodiac Killer, the film's villain Scorpio added to its gritty realism. Filming in San Francisco had its challenges, but Eastwood performed his own stunts, including the famous bank robbery chase. Though controversial for its portrayal of police violence, Dirty Harry was a massive hit, spawning sequels and shaping action cinema for decades.
Any man don't want to get killed. Better clear on out the back.
The Western that stripped away the myths. Eastwood plays William Money, a retired outlaw drawn back into violence. The script had been around since the 70s, but Eastwood waited until he was old enough for the role. He ensured realism, no flashy shootouts, just brutal consequences. Gene Hackman, initially hesitant about the film's violence, was convinced by Eastwood and won an Oscar for his ruthless sheriff. The film won Best Picture and Best Director for Eastwood, cementing his legacy as more than just an action star, a fitting farewell to the Western genre. More than a boxing movie, this emotional gut punch left audiences stunned. Eastwood plays Frankie Dunn, a veteran trainer who reluctantly mentors Hilary Swank's determined fighter, Maggie Fitzgerald. Swank trained for months, gaining 20 pounds of muscle and working through a staph infection to avoid losing the role. Eastwood, always efficient, shot the film in just 37 days, sticking to his 1 or 2 takes approach. A massive success, Million Dollar Baby won 4 Oscars, including Best Picture, Best Director for Eastwood, and Best Actress for Swank. Its heartbreaking ending sparked debate, but the film cemented Eastwood's status as a master filmmaker. At nearly 80, Eastwood proved he still had it. He plays Walt Kowalski, a grizzled Korean war vet in a changing Detroit neighborhood. When a young teen tries to steal his beloved Gran Torino, Walt reluctantly becomes his mentor. Though known for playing tough, violent men, Gran Torino is ultimately about redemption. Walt starts as a bitter racist but sacrifices himself to protect the very people he once resented. Originally seen as Eastwood's acting swan song, it became one of his most powerful roles.
Which one?
He's right.
More than just a prison escape film, this true story follows Frank Morris, a mastermind who, along with 2 inmates, vanished from Alcatraz in 1962, leaving their fate a mystery. Eastwood delivers a quiet but intense performance, with the film methodically building suspense as the prisoners chip away at their cells, craft decoys, and plan their daring escape. Filming on location at Alcatraz added authenticity, but wasn't easy. The island was cold, damp, and miserable. Ever the professional, Eastwood endured the harsh conditions without complaint, making the film one of the best prison dramas ever made. This film follows a mysterious stranger who rides into the corrupt town of Lago, forcing the townspeople to paint it red and rename it Hell before a deadly showdown. Unlike Eastwood's other westerns, High Plains Drifter has a surreal, ghostly tone. Many believe his character is the vengeful spirit of a murdered lawman. Filmed at Mono Lake, California, the entire town was built from scratch in weeks. As director, Eastwood kept the storytelling lean, relying on eerie atmosphere over exposition. The result? One of the most unique westerns ever made.
15 minutes before the hour here at KRML, and here's It's Not Unusual.
Eastwood's directorial debut was a bold departure, a psychological thriller about an obsessive fan stalking a radio DJ. Jessica Walter delivers a chilling performance as Evelyn, whose mood swings keep audiences on edge. Shot on a small budget in Carmel, California, Eastwood used real locations and DJs for authenticity. Far from a typical thriller, the film showcased Eastwood's talent behind the camera, proving he could handle tension and storytelling with precision. It was a strong start to his directing career. A World War II heist movie with a cynical edge, Kelly's Heroes follows Eastwood's rogue soldier leading a crew, including Telly Savalas and Donald Sutherland, to steal Nazi gold. Marketed as a fun caper, the film also critiques the war machine, portraying soldiers as self-interested mercenaries rather than noble heroes. Filming in former Yugoslavia posed challenges, especially when Sutherland fell seriously ill with spinal meningitis. Despite setbacks, the film blended action, humor, and anti-war themes, making it one of the most unique World War II films of its time. One of Eastwood's most physically demanding films, this spy thriller follows an ex-assassin lured out of retirement to eliminate a double agent during a deadly mountain climb. Eastwood did most of his own stunts, even scaling the real Eiger Mountain in Switzerland. The production turned tragic when a British climber died during filming, underscoring the dangers of the shoot. Though not as well remembered as some of his classics, the Eiger Sanction remains a unique blend of espionage and survival drama, showcasing Eastwood's commitment to authenticity. Before Any Which Way You Can, there was Every Which Way But Loose, Eastwood's unexpected leap into comedy. He plays Philo Beto, a trucker and bare-knuckle fighter who embarks on a chaotic road trip to find a country singer, facing off against an inept biker gang, corrupt cops, and his orangutan sidekick Clyde. Advisors warned Eastwood against the role, fearing it would ruin his tough guy image. He ignored them, and the film became a massive box office hit, grossing nearly $100 million. It proved Eastwood didn't need a gun or a badge to be a star. His sheer presence was enough. By the mid-80s, westerns were fading, but Pale Rider proved the genre still had life. Eastwood plays the Preacher, a mysterious drifter who arrives in a mining town under siege by a ruthless businessman. Much like High Plains Drifter, the film hints at supernatural elements. The Preacher may be an avenging spirit. The title itself references the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, with the Pale Rider symbolizing death. Shot in Idaho with meticulous period accuracy, Eastwood kept dialogue minimal, letting atmosphere and action drive the story. The result? One of the most haunting westerns of the 1980s. A bare-knuckle boxing movie with an orangutan? Sounds absurd, but it worked. This sequel to Every Which Way But Loose follows trucker fighter Philo Beto as he's pushed into one last fight against a dangerous martial artist, all while dealing with his pet orangutan, Clyde. A massive box office hit, the film proved audiences loved seeing Eastwood in comedic roles. However, controversy arose behind the scenes when reports surfaced of mistreatment of the orangutan, angering Eastwood. Despite the issues, Any Which Way You Can cemented Eastwood's ability to step outside his tough guy persona and still draw a crowd.
Aim high.
Now,
Fire.
you bastard!
A rare film where Eastwood took a step back from directing, allowing Wolfgang Petersen to helm this gripping thriller. He plays Frank Horrigan, a veteran Secret Service agent haunted by his failure to save JFK. When a cunning assassin, John Malkovich, threatens the current president, Horrigan gets one last shot at redemption. The film thrives on the tense cat-and-mouse dynamic between Eastwood and Malkovich, whose chilling performance earned him an Oscar nomination. A critical and commercial success, In the Line of Fire grossed over $187 million worldwide and proved Eastwood could still dominate the screen in the 90s.
I think it's nice you laughing.
Eastwood's Man with No Name rides into a town caught between rival families and plays them against each other for his own gain. Inspired by Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo, which led to a plagiarism lawsuit, A Fistful of Dollars was shot on a shoestring budget in Spain. Expected to be a minor European Western, it became a global hit, launching both Eastwood's and director Sergio Leone's careers. Gritty, stylish, and revolutionary, it redefined the Western and turned Eastwood into an international star.
22.
The sequel to A Fistful of Dollars raised the stakes. Eastwood's Man with No Name teams up with a rival bounty hunter, Lee Van Cleef, to take down a ruthless outlaw, El Indio. Unlike its predecessor, this film adds layers of complexity. Van Cleef's character has a personal vendetta, creating tension between the two bounty hunters. Shot in Spain with Leone's signature cinematography and Ennio Morricone's iconic score, it solidified Eastwood's star power and set the stage for the legendary trilogy's epic finale.
I know.
One of Eastwood's greatest westerns, The Outlaw Josie Wales, follows a Missouri farmer seeking revenge after Union guerrillas murder his family during the Civil War. Unlike standard revenge tales, the film evolves into a story of redemption, with Wales forming a surrogate family from outcasts he meets on his journey. Directed by Eastwood himself, the film blends intense action with deep character work, cementing his reputation as both an actor and filmmaker. After his success in spaghetti westerns, Eastwood brought the gritty style back to Hollywood with Hang 'Em High. He plays Jed Cooper, a man wrongly accused of murder and lynched by vigilantes, only to survive and become a U.S. Marshal seeking justice. Unlike Leone's stylized westerns, this one has a more traditional American feel but retains Eastwood's signature edge. It explores themes of justice versus vengeance, showing Cooper struggling with the corrupt legal system. A major hit, Hang 'Em High proved Eastwood could carry a western outside of Italy and further solidified his star status.
27.
Any trouble, boy?
After revisiting 20 of his greatest films, one thing is clear: Clint Eastwood is more than just a cowboy, cop, or director. He's a cinematic force of nature. From redefining the Western to shaping action cinema and directing award-winning dramas, Eastwood has done it all on his terms. He never followed trends, never compromised, and always delivered unforgettable performances. So is Clint Eastwood the last great cowboy of Hollywood? Maybe, but one thing's for sure, his legend will ride on forever. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content.